All right, we're going to go on the record. Court is calling 2022 CR 1227, State of Texas versus Anthony Lee Davis. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Kitty Robinick for Mr. Davis.
And are you Mr. Davis? All right, you're going to need to speak up so that the court reporter can hear. All right. All right, Mr. Davis, I'm going to show you what's entitled Motion to Revoke Community Supervision. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Are you the same Anthony Lee Davis who's placed on community supervision in 2022 CR 1227 for the offense of evading arrest detention with a vehicle on June 28, 2022 for a term of 7 years? Is that you? All right, state.
Violated condition number 14U on or about the 28th day of November 2023 in Bexar County, Texas. The defendant, Anthony Lee Davis, did then and there fail to apply for, provide documentation of attendance, and comply with all rules, regulations, instructions, and financial agreements as directed by the court and or supervision officer and or the head of or authorized personnel of the following program. Parenting class in violation of condition number 14U.
All right, to that, how do you plead? True or not true?
And we waive the other violations alleged in the motion, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
All right, did you understand by pleading true to violation 14U, the court could find it true, grant the motion, and sentence you up to 7 years in prison and up to $1,000 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to 14U? All right, you're whispering. Court will find 14U true. Is there a proposed agreement?
There is, Your Honor. We're asking that you deny the motion, continue the defendant on supervision, and amend conditions to include the state treatment track followed by ISP supervision and continue mental health care with CHCS or Be Well, Texas upon his return.
That's our agreement, Your Honor.
All right,
Your Honor.
probation, just one moment. Is that the probation's recommendation? All right, Mr. Davis, you wanted to say something? Sure. Can you raise your right hand for me? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you can lower your hand. State your name for the record.
I also have a
State your name for the record.
Davis.
Yes. What did you want to say?
I also have an address of my sister's house. If I can go there and still get help with my.
Now, here's the thing. We've tried that. And you haven't followed through. So it appears that the only way you're going to follow through is if you're an inpatient. Now you have choices today, and I'm going to give you a choice. Sometimes I can give people choices, sometimes I cannot. So here's your choice. You can go to prison for 5 years, or either you can go to state ISF, and I'm going to order that you be on GPS. And you are not allowed to live with your mother because there's a no contact order in place. You're not allowed to live with your sister unless your sister submits a letter to the court or comes into the court and says that she wants you to live there. And even then, I may not allow you to live with her. You understand? Because a lot of people will be at the jail, they'll be at prison, they get out and they say, oh, this person wants me to live with them. And they're just assuming that because of the familial relationship, that somebody is okay with them living with them. You understand? So, what would you like to do? Do you want me to try to give you the help you need? Or do you want to go to prison? You go to prison, you get out of prison, you can do whatever you want to do. All right. So why have you not been following through on what I've been ordering for you to do?
Well, at first I had no contact order at my mom's house, so I wasn't able to stay there. So I was really homeless until I worked my way up to have a car. Then I was living out of my car, and the communication was just bad because they were trying to reach me through my mom, and me and my mom weren't even on.
Why don't you just go to probation? Probation has a physical office that you can go to. And I know that when people are on probation out of this court, I tell them if there's an issue with probation, they can always come back to the court. So you didn't come here.
When I was going to probation, and then I was doing the Center for Healthcare Services as well. So the Center for Healthcare Services lady was telling me not to report to my old probation officer. And So that was where the mix up happened, but I was going to my probation, like, when I was supposed to report, I was showing up. That was just that one time that I didn't show up at the end, and it was just bad communication. They didn't reach out to me, they reached out to my mom.
All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to deny the motion, alter and amend conditions to include ISF cognitive, GPS partial for any mental health treatment, waive fees, and you to follow through with Center for Healthcare Services, and also for Be Well. And there's still to be no contact with your mother. Now, what's going to end up happening? We can go off the record. This is what's going to end up happening. When I say no contact with your mother, once you are stabilized with your medications and you've shown the court that you are actually following through on your mental health issues, then I'll consider allowing you to have contact with your mother, not live with her, but have contact with her. Then ultimately, if things are still going well and she wants you to stay with her, then I will consider that. But now you are not in a position where you should be staying with anyone. Now you are in a position where you should have your mental health issues addressed. Otherwise, this probation is not going to end well for you. You understand? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? I'm sorry?
No.
Right. So I'm going to say this again. I've said it before. If there's an issue and you feel as though probation is not addressing that issue, you can always come back to the court. We are here. Do you understand?
She's saying that you know where the courthouse is. And if you can't figure out anything else, you show up at this court, they'll contact and they'll bring you in front of the judge. I know this sounds crazy.
I will.
She actually will. Well, I'm just telling you. So, because she's telling you there won't be any excuses. Or are we
Yes.
co-hosts here?
Yes.
Okay.
All right. Yes. And of course, I'm not here on Saturdays and Sundays, but throughout the week I am. All right. Probation. Is there anything else he needs? All right. Good luck to you. Court is calling. Could everyone please whisper? Court is calling 2023 CR 10492, State of Texas versus Renee Rodrigo Esparza. Could I have parties announced for the record for the state?
Hank Wilkins for the state, Your Honor.
Defense?
Tim Roundtree.
Are you Mr. Esparza?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
I have.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Esparza, I'm going to show you what's entitled Application for Community Supervision. Did you review that document with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you're charged while driving while intoxicated, third or more? That's a third-degree felony. The range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine.
Yes, sir.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today? Did you understand that today by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea today?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
He has.
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I do, Your Honor.
Do you believe he's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Mr. Esparza, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, sir.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, sir.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 6 years in the prison. There's a $2,000 fine. State recommends community supervision. There's to be the DWI intervention course, DWI VIP, driver safety course, regular UAs or an alcohol patch, 2 years driver's license suspension and ignition interlock for half the term. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, sir.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places?
Yes, sir.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? State is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 250 hours of community service restitution, GPS in lieu of the 10 days in the Bear County Jail. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes, sir.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
Guilty.
State any evidence?
Your Honor, I offer State's Exhibit 1 in the attachments.
Any objections?
No, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and submitted and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty, and the court will find you guilty. Are we proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, I just ask that you would follow the agreement. Mr. Esparza understands the seriousness of this offense and is committed to sobriety and moving forward, complying with all the terms of probation. And I believe he's not going to have any problems.
All right, how old are you?
45, Your Honor.
So what type of vehicle was it?
It was a 2020 Lexus.
You know, I've heard of people, although it shouldn't be done at all, I've heard of people saying, oh, I want to try out my new car. And maybe it's a Lamborghini, maybe it's an Aston Martin, but I've never heard of people trying out a Lexus at over 100 miles per hour. I mean, you could have killed many people. You understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
So what do you do for a living?
I actually appreciate weddings. I have 2 wedding companies. Me and my wife have built for the past 11 years together.
All right, you know that while you're on probation, there's no drinking of alcohol. And based upon your history, you're one of those people who can't just drink 1 glass and be done. So it's probably best for you in your future, even if you successfully complete this probation, which you should be able to successfully complete it, that you don't drink at all. All right, this is what the court is going to do. Court is going to sentence you to 6 years in the prison, suspended and probated for 6 years. There's a $2,000 fine that will be probated. DWI intervention course, DWI education course, DWI victim impact panel live, a driver safety course, random regular UAs, 2 years driver's license suspension, ignition interlock for half the term, proof of employment within 30 days, no employment as a home health care provider or with minors, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, 90 sober meetings in 90 days, TAP evaluation out of custody, and do a referral to felony drug court. There'll be 250 hours of community service restitution. And he can buy out of those if he chooses at $7.25 per hour. Field visits 1 time per month for 3 months. Then at probation's discretion. All right, with regards to the GPS in lieu of the 10 days in Bear County Jail. If you only want to have the GPS for 10 days, then that's full house arrest. That means you will not be allowed to leave your home. So do you want it for the full 10 days?
Yes, sir.
All right, so there's to be full GPS for 10 days in lieu of the Bear County Jail. Probation, is there anything else he needs?
Okay.
All right. And with regards to the TAP evaluation, follow the TAP recommendations. Of course, if it recommends inpatient treatment, we'll start with intensive outpatient treatment. Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
No, Your Honor.
All right, I'm going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and did you sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Off the record, here's the thing. Usually when people are driving intoxicated and you going 100 miles per hour, if there would have been an accident, you know what probably would have ended up happening? You would have survived, you would have been just fine. The people who are usually not intoxicated, who are hit by an intoxicated driver, their life is usually changed forever because either they end up dying or either they end up having significant injuries. Don't drink and drive. And I know that nobody ever goes to a restaurant or goes out and says, you know what, let me take some drinks and go out and kill somebody or go out and have an accident. Nobody is anticipating that. I don't know why when people are planning to drink and you know you're going to drink, I don't know why people just don't have a designated driver. I personally don't drink alcohol. I think it tastes nasty. So throughout my education and even now, I'm always a designated driver. It results in me having free soda, free lemonade, sometimes a free meal. But people know Stephanie's the designated driver. So be better, okay?
Yes, Your
And thank you for dressing appropriately for court. All right, have a good day.
Thanks, Judge.
Counsel, have you received all the discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Mr. Green, I'm showing you what's entitled True Bill of Indictment. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
We did.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Your Honor, we're waiving the enhanced step.
Any objection?
No, Your Honor.
You're charged with the unauthorized use of a vehicle. That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? You're going to need to speak up. If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand? Mr. Green, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you in this, to enter this plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 14 months in the state jail facility. There are no applications. The state will take in consideration 2024 CR 0731 and County Court Cause number 716842. And there's to be restitution, if any, to each. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense?
Yes, Your Honor.
State?
Yes, Your Honor.
Showing you the waiver of appeal paragraph. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in both places? Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, have there been any such motions? Then to the offenses charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence?
State offer states exhibit 1 in all attachments.
No objection.
Showing you what's entitled waiver and consent to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments. The court has reviewed the same. The court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty and the court will find you guilty. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, please.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor, I just hope you follow our plea agreement.
All right, the court will sentence you to 14 months in the state jail facility, give you credit for any time served. take in consideration 2024 CR 0731, County Court Cause Number 716842, and there's to be restitution to end. Is there anything else with regards to sentencing? Going to show you what's entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendants' Rights to Appeal. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea, because I followed your plea, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. How old are you?
52.
All right, you're 52. Guess what? You're about to spend 14 months in the state jail facility because of the unauthorized use of a vehicle. And you have to start asking yourself, is it worth it? And if it's not, you're going to have to stop the behavior. Otherwise, you're going to find yourself in and out of somebody's jail and out of somebody's prison. And at some point in time in Texas, when they habitualize you, depending on the felony you have, your minimum is 25 years. You understand? All right, good luck to you. Do better.
I told them.
All right, thank you. All right, I need.